Alright y'all, so in the last video about this situation that I watched, one of the articles referenced in the video suggested that David may have been caught on CCTV footage disposing of the body, whatever the case may be. So we're gonna watch this video talking about that, and we're gonna get into it.
So we've got a lot of new information regarding the David case. Celeste's body has officially been released by the LAPD. New reports suggest David may have been buying fake IDs for Celeste, and the homeowner of the Beverly Hills mansion David was living in confirmed there was in fact CCTV placed all around. So hopefully they should.
Yo, he's cooked, bro. He's so cooked. Bro, so y'all are telling me there was camera footage outside of the spot. Yeah, bro, he's so fried, bro. Ain't no way, bro. That's why I make sure there's no cameras before I move into an apartment, bro. I don't care. I don't even be doing nothing that devious, bro. I just don't want to be recorded, bro. Because imagine, bro. Imagine you think you do. Imagine being in this dude's shoes, right? You think you slick, bro. You think nobody knows what you. You think nobody saw you do whatever you was doing, and then boom, that footage drops. You're cooked. Death penalty, life in prison. There's no way. They're not letting him out, bro.
Capture whoever murdered Celeste. We should be getting a breakthrough soon, so let's get into it. So what I think is the most interesting news story that broke was about Celeste potentially having fake IDs, and he was buying them for her. So here this article posted exclusive information by TMZ, cops eye runaway past, troubled home life. So as we know, she ran away multiple times. Her teacher stated in that clip that the police already got her from David's home once already, but then she just ran away again and went back to him. Our sources say homicide detectives believe there's lots of evidence Celeste comes from a troubled home, and that may have triggered her desire to run away. Now here's where it gets interesting. Our sources say the way Celeste was able to navigate on her own was by having multiple fake IDs.
Bro, I feel like it's evidence enough she came from a troubled home. The fact that like she would run away and her parents would let her. Like they would know where she was, let her run away with that older like grown ass dude and like let her do that, bro. Like I feel like if you're from like if you got like active parents who really care, like, and I mean really care, like, it's easy to, like, fake like you care, like, move like you care, but I mean, like, really care, like, don't want this specific situation to happen to you, they not letting that happen, truthfully.
An attempt to present much older than she was. Now look, fake IDs are not cheap, and as we know, Celeste came from a troubled home, meaning she probably didn't have a lot of money, she wasn't getting any pocket money. And these fake IDs, I'm not sure how much they are in the US, but I'm presuming like $100 minimum, maybe a couple hundred, let's say like $100. And she's not getting that money on her own, she can't work, she's like 13, 12, she was 14 like in 2025, but I doubt she was working. Now, you know who has a lot of money, and we have proof was sending her money? David. We literally have
What? Bro. Imagine being in high school, like a freshman in high school, bro. And you got a significant other sending you like 10 bands at a time, bro. 10 bands. Like imagine 10 bands cash, bro. Imagine now, bro, having a significant other that send you 10 bands at a time. But especially as a kid, bro, like no wonder nobody was looking at that shit crazy, bro. She probably just broke off her parents and was like, hey, I'm going to stay with David.
Sheesh. Text that shows Celeste asking for 10 rags and David sent her 9,000. So potentially David was buying these fake IDs for her, or she used the money that David gave her to buy the fake IDs. And I'm not sure why she would need them. I'm presuming to get into clubs and stuff like that, potentially with David. If she wanted to get to certain events with David, she needed an ID. And he actually has some very cool footage. It's of all the unmarked police cars at David's mansion. And if we skim through, oh, I think this is the area that Tesla was discovered. Oh yeah, and this is David's house. Like they're checking the garage. Then there's a bunch of unmarked police cars, police officers, detectives, investigators. They're doing some swabs, it seems like there. But yeah, a lot of police. I'm presuming this was like a couple of days ago when the home was raided. Seems like there's another vehicle inside. Maybe that was the manager's car. But yeah, we don't really see what's going on. Like we know they're testing for blood, for DNA, any potential evidence that could show us what happened to Celeste. That's another test they're doing. They're shaking it. I don't know. I remember in science class you have to shake stuff and then it would show the results. And they're wearing like blue gloves. So these guys are like the I don't know, the detective DNA people who are doing all science, fancy science stuff. So this actually
the detective DNA people doing all the fancy science stuff. The forensic scientists, bro. Hey, shout out to really like, bro. We don't take enough time to like to recognize like how far forensic science has come to the point where it's like it's damn near impossible to commit a murder and get away with it, bro. If there was blood and you cleaned it up, like you could find that. Like if there was like if you chop up the body and dispose of it, if the body's found, there could be an autopsy. Like I think that's so remarkable. I feel like we take it for granted a lot, not gonna lie.
A good point. It's apparent police think Celeste might have been killed inside the home David was staying at because they obtained a search warrant allowing them to search for blood evidence inside the residence. We do not know what, if anything, police discovered. And the police, of course, have not revealed if they have a suspect. However, obviously, that's not really good news. You know, we haven't got any good news regarding, like, have they found anything? Is David a suspect? Because right now, it looks like he might get away with it because they don't.
Bro, there ain't no good news in a situation like this, bro.
have a cause of death, there's no good evidence. However, the homeowner said house has external cameras, security cameras, can't enter, exit undetected. So Malden Trifunovic was the guy that owned the home David's manager was renting. And look, these are the CCTV cameras, so this is like the front door, and then these are the ones in front of the garage. The homeowner says the cameras are positioned at entry points in the backyard and on the street, and he believes people cannot go in or out of the house without being recorded. So let's say Celeste was killed inside the house, and presuming David would get her through the garage, and then the Tesla will be parked inside the garage or at the front. So it'll be shown on this CCTV camera or this CCTV camera of him leaving the house and driving Celeste down the street, if he did it. Now the homeowner says he doesn't have access to the security footage, he doesn't want his tenants to think he's spying on them, and when tenants move in, he gives them the info for the security company and they create their own account to access the cameras.
So I wonder if the footage can be deleted. Because, like, if he's got that access to the security, I mean, at this point he couldn't, but it's like, if he deleted it back then there would be no way for them to, like, recover that footage unless they keep, like, backups, which I don't expect any company, like, third party to do, assuming that people aren't killing people in the properties.
The landlord says LAPD has not told him anything about the investigation or if cops obtain security footage, but he doesn't see why police wouldn't get their hands on the video. Yet the police have definitely already got that video, they already subpoenaed the security company 110%, there's no way they're not. Now I feel like this would give us a breakthrough, you know, if David's leaving his house randomly at 4 AM, dragging a black bag with him, or I don't know, even just leaving the house at 4 AM, and then they track him using the neighbor's cameras or like ring doorbells to see him driving down the road and dumping the car and presumably walking back. Now look, a lot of people have been concerned about that there's no cause of death and that this may help David get away. However, there's actually still possibility that he may get charged and arrested if they don't find a cause of death, and this smart guy here is going to explain it to us.
Thought somebody was murdered and it turned out later it was an OD. We had one once where the person committed suicide, it turned out. So we don't know yet. Now she was dismembered.
Now that's a good theory. What if Celeste ended her own life or she OD'd by accident, and well, David didn't want a dead child inside his house, so he put her in his trunk and hid her body.
Now that theory makes a lot of sense, right? It's like he could have had nothing to do with the actual death and then dismember the body just to hide it so like people wouldn't find out that he had anything to do with it. Which I feel like is like a very common, I mean not very common, but relatively common occurrence in situations like this. But like I said, I don't believe in coincidences. I definitely think this nigga did it, bro.
This guy said she was dismembered. Apparently that's not actually true, and apparently the only reason they said it was dismembered is because the body fell apart due to it being decomposed so badly.
Certainly didn't do that to herself, but we don't know from the coroner's office yet exactly if they have a cause of death, what it was. We don't know, and I'm going to suspect a dismembered, heavily decomposed body like that, it's going to be tough to tell. There are certain telltale signs depending on what was in there, what they actually recovered, but at this point we don't know. But I think in this one, given the high-profile nature, they're devoting the resources and they're doing it right. And the detectives, I've worked with this unit before, and these are hard-hitting, no-nonsense women and men at the LAPD who know what they're doing. So they're doing all of that stuff. They're going through the computers. They have forensically worked up that house, probably top to bottom. They're looking for her DNA. They're looking on any instruments that may have been used to dismember her. I've already seen some of the conspiracy theories come out, and one of the questions I saw is, who would be stupid enough to put the dead body in the trunk of their own car? And the answer to that is most murderers. Most people, especially when they kill for the first time, make a million mistakes. And this.
Wow, that's actually kind of crazy because people.
That makes a whole lot of sense, honestly, though. For a person who's never been in that moment, who's never, like, committed such an act, to be, like, thrown into that instant where it's like, oh, shit, somebody's dead, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with the body, it would make sense to think, like, oh, I'm just gonna put it in my car and drive it somewhere. And then you drive it somewhere and realize you can't put it there, and then you just drive it back and leave it somewhere, and then they find it. I mean, it's almost like hilarious how stupid the mistake is, but I feel like you could understand why someone would make that mistake.
People are saying like there's no way it's David, why would he put the body in his own trunk? Well, as this guy says, who is clearly in that field, he knows what he's talking about. Apparently the majority of first time murderers make a lot of mistakes, they probably did it without thinking, and now the only place they can put it is their trunk, so apparently this is quite common. And even though David is a celebrity, at the end of the day he's still a normal human who makes human mistakes, and one of these were putting the dead girl he possibly killed, allegedly killed, in his trunk, just like all the other first-time murderers.
I think that what's happening in addition to the forensic stuff right now is they are doing gumshoe police work, and they are interviewing every single person they can find that was in his orbit, that knew about their relationship, what the circumstances were, if any. And it certainly sounds, I mean, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence right now indicating that there had been some sort of close relationship between them.
I have 20 seconds, but I've got to get you on the record here.
But they have to interview everybody, bro. Like, they really got to get everybody's standpoint on things, because anybody who knew about it, bro, is such an asset to the police eventually finding out what happened, if David did it or not, and like what part everybody played, like everybody involved played in the situation.
They can't come up with a cause of death. Is that brutal for this case?
No, you can still prosecute. If you can certainly prosecute. I mean, I did 5 no body cases where we had no exact cause of death either. So you can certainly do it.
No body cases? Like you couldn't even find the body? Like the person was just gone? I mean, that kind of makes sense. Like, I guess it definitely makes sense, but that's crazy.
But it does throw a wrinkle in there. If you've just got a decomposed, torso, or depending on what's available, what I would be asking if I was them is the hyoid bone. That's a bone in the neck that's consistent with strangulation. That's something that doesn't go away with decomposition. I'm sure they're looking at that. If it's true that her head was recovered, they can find what's called petechial hemorrhaging in her eyes, indicating strangulation. Bones will leave marks concerning stabbing. So the forensic pathology here is going to be very interesting. And again, the coroners in LA County are the real deal. They know what they're doing. So we'll have to see.
And let's hope, let's hope that they do all.
Okay, so I was actually saying, like, if you strangled her, then, that might not be visible on the skin, but it seems like, yes, you can actually see it from the bone in her neck or something along those lines. And this guy said, apparently the LA coroners are the real deal. It's a major city. They're probably very well paid and the best of the best people. So I don't see how they could mess this up, maybe they will, but I just don't understand how they could not find the cause of death. I mean, as this guy said, he had 5 cases before where there was no cause of death. However, they still went forward with them. So even though they don't find a cause of death for Celeste, I think they're still going to go ahead with it simply because of so much social media evidence. They're probably going to interview a lot of people around him, and also she was found in his car. But
they're going to find a cause of death, bro. You just got to give them time. I feel like the reason people think like they're almost dragging their feet or they're not going to find it is because it's happening because one, it happened so publicly, or it became such a public situation, and like people are almost like antsy to find out what happened. But at the end of the day, this shit gonna take time, bro. They got to do like a full autopsy, and then they're gonna find the cause of death, and then we're gonna talk about stuff like that, like how did she actually die? Was there really foul play, or was it an accident? Like, that's when we're going to get to that point.
We'll have to wait and see. Again, they also sweep this entire place. They're going to find some type of DNA or something along those lines there. Some type of blood, weapon maybe. Aside from that, Celeste's body has finally been released to her family. It seems like they finished doing the investigation with her body. They've probably done all that they can. They've probably sent off the liquids and all the other testing kind of stuff. They've sent that off. It's going to take like a month or 2 for that to come back. But the body's finally been released to her family. And Celeste's family can now claim her remains. Now, in other news, he actually made his Fortnite profile private, which means you can't see him like if he's playing anymore, which we actually could see that prior. So it seems like he's scouring Reddit and Twitter, and he saw that people are checking his Fortnite profile. Now,
bro, if I was under investigation by LAPD for something so serious, I would be doing nothing but playing Fortnite too, bro. Because what else are you going to do to get your mind off of this shit? You can't watch YouTube because you're all over it. Can't watch TV, bro.
But this is actually quite weird. So some closer shots of Celeste at the concert on the 25th of August at Silver Springs. So David did in fact have a concert at this date, and some people think this is Celeste on the balcony next to his brother. Here she is again. Now she's actually wearing a black tube top, and you know what Celeste was wearing when her body was discovered, a black tube top. And it makes sense, she's backstage with her brother. Here's like an AI enhanced picture, and it kind of looks like her. And another guy on Twitter actually showed that David was waving to her, and then even showed a love heart to her, as you can see here. See, he showed a little love heart. So it seems like that was her at this show on the 25th of August. Now, I'm not sure, this is not 100%. And we've seen her backstage at concerts before with her brother. So does that mean she was killed late August, start of December? It's so confusing. I genuinely have no idea what happened. I have no idea how the police are going to solve this. Here's another picture comparing them to.
I believe they found out like she was killed September 8th was like the time of death on the autopsy or whatever. Or not the autopsy, like the coroner's report.
It's very low quality, and YouTube is probably going to compress the quality and make it look even worse, but it does kind of look like her. Same curly hair, wearing a black tube top, which is what she was wearing when she was discovered. Similar facial features, you get the point. Now, here's where it gets even weirder. At a concert he had on the 18th of September 2024, over a year ago, he had these AI images, and it looks like this is him and Celeste, and they grew older together. Like, what? This is literally Celeste. She's got kind of that darker, kind of Hispanic skin. and the curly hair that she had. And then this is David, and they're kind of together sleeping, and they grew old together. Very weird considering she's 14 years old. That is definitely her. This is sick as hell. I hope he gets what he deserved. Now this gets really weird. In December of 2024, this guy on TikTok would actually expose David.
Bro, this is such an unfortunate frame. We gonna get to the video, but damn, this is such an unfortunate frame. Bro could not have chose a better thumbnail, bro. Fried.
Of meeting up with kids and paying them to stay hush about his relationship with a kid. I'll play you guys a clip.
Popular artist got caught giving thousands of dollars to kids. Now, why did he do this? To hide his little secret of him dating a minor. Yup. Who knows if he's still dating this minor? And people commenting, proof. Why the fuck else would he randomly go unnoticed, no one knows about this, to meet kids, bring them canes, give them thousands of dollars? Why else would he do that? Why else would any celebrity do that?
Bro, he was bringing them canes, bro. See, that's how you know this is like a veteran PDF, bro. He knows how to get to the kids, bro.
To meet kids, bring them canes, give them thousands of dollars. Why else would he do that? Why else would any celebrity do that?
Bro, this dude talk like a cartoon character, like off of Big Mouth or something. I hate to fry this youngin trying to make content and stuff, but damn, this is hilarious, bro.
Know exactly why. And I'm not just guessing here. This is a picture from someone who knew the girl, and they told me this story.
Yeah, wow, so of course this was a year ago, before anyone knew about this, before her body was found, before anyone knew who she was. And this guy knew. He tried to post a video, but it seems like people doubted him. I can't get
That's insane, bro. He was ahead of his time.
over how many people knew. I mean, this video was posted almost 9 months prior to her body being found, and 4 months prior to him playing at Coachella. Just wild. Yeah, it's crazy how many people actually knew, yet no one really did anything about it, or maybe it was more so of the police ignoring it, and that her family didn't care. Maybe her family even encouraged it, because as we spoke about in my last video, her family may have wanted her to be with him because he was rich, this rich superstar celebrity who could have taken her family out of poverty. Now here's some kind of exclusive information these guys posted, the Leonard files.
That's definitely the case though, bro. He was sending her $9,000, bro. She was like a freshman in high school. Like a freshman in high school getting 9 bands just like that. Like, bro, like it's a short list of things that at this point in my life as a grown man I wouldn't do for 9 bands. Just an Apple Pay cash and 9 bands. A few things I wouldn't do, very few, bro. I slime out my roommate right now.
Carl was noted to observe for parking citation on the 27th of August. NBC LA, the Leonard Files, posted their own investigation into the case and discovered interesting information about the Tesla. A city worker initially noticed and marked the car for a 72-hour observation on August 27th. That means Celeste could have absolutely been at the Maryland show August 24th, and it still fit the timeline. It was noted for the 72 hours expiring on the 3rd. And then finally impounded. There's waiting periods between citation and towing. So she may have actually been murdered very late August, after that Maryland show, which was on the balcony with her brother, with David's brother, and it kind of fits in as we got this parking ticket here, or citation. So the Maryland show was on the 24th, this citation was on the 27th, so let's say they went home after the Maryland show. He killed her around the 25th to 26th.
The Maryland show. I love how UK people say like American states and stuff like that, and like American words. It's so funny because it's like, that's not how you say it, but it's like, I'm gonna let you say it like that because it sounds funny. And I know that's how you gonna pronounce it.
7th maybe, and the citation expired on the 3rd. So what, it got towed on the 3rd or the 4th, then it was at the impound on that day, let's say the 3rd or the 4th, and then it smelled badly, and then the body was discovered on the 8th. That means it decomposed for 10 days, which seems about right. In the LA heat, bodies decompose very fast, the heat speeds up the process. So this kind of fits in with the timeline, because by day 10, day 11, that body would have smelt very badly. Now, I want to read some of this SF Investiguy's post on Twitter, because he actually has some very good information, and has done a deep dive into this case. So this is one of his theories. One possibility to consider in the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez is that there are no homicide charges. If Celeste suffered an overdose and they panicked and hid the body because it would expose David as a pedo, see what I did there, David? Then that would be abuse of corpse and concealment of
That's clever. That's real. That's real clever. I like that.
Accidental death, not homicide. Because again, let's say she did overdose, some people are questioning like, well, why wouldn't he just call the paramedics or whatever? Well, because that would mean a dead child that he was dating was found in the mansion of a superstar, a celebrity, which would...
And that'd be damn near just as bad, bro. That'd be damn near just as bad. Like, not quite, but damn near. Like, damn near just as bad, bro. if there was like a dead child found in this dude's crib, bro. Grown ass man, mind you. Grown ass superstar. He'll lose everything.
Would also probably destroy his career, as it would look very bad. While manner of death, natural homicide, accidental suicide undetermined, can be ruled at any time, the cause of death will not be determined until the toxicology results are back, which could take 60 to 100 days, assuming they were able to get a sample. A crime absolutely happened here, she didn't put herself in the Tesla, but it doesn't mean it's homicide automatically. And actually, another thing to say, it would also look terrible because it means he was given drugs to a kid, which would probably lead to his career being tarnished even worse. If she didn't die at the hands of someone else and was placed there after the fact, then it's a different crime. See guys, this is concerning because as this guy said, it could take 60 to 100 days for the toxicology report. So it means we might not get another update for this case for another 100 days. Well, this guy said it's 60 to 120 days. And I actually researched why it takes so long. Well,
That's insane, but hey, bruh. Hey, bruh. At least we gonna get good content. We gonna get good, easy content for... That's like 4 months, bro, of good, easy content. Let's go. I mean, rest in peace. But like...
It's simply because firstly there's like a big backlog and they just have a lot to get through. Pretty much every death that happens they have to do a test for, and also simply there's a lot of testing to do, and it's just crazy. That's why it takes so long. And that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. It seems like we're pretty much hit a wall with this case because we're not really getting much new information. Like we
This video is about the footage, bro. That footage is gonna be telling, bro. At the end of the day, now, because now they know the date of the date that she actually died, I believe September the 8th. So they could like cross-reference that date on the footage with the security company. So when that shit comes out, we'll know what the deal is, bro. But it's probably, to be honest, it's gonna take some time. They're not just gonna immediately release that footage to the public, and why would they, honestly? I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all enjoyed this stream. I appreciate y'all for watching.